Hi there, everyone, and welcome to UpNorthLive Unscripted at 6:30. I am Maya Engel, live in our digital studio, and happy Friday. I know I am very excited that the weekend is right around the corner. I still have a couple hours of work left, but we're almost there. I hope you all had a great week, and if you do have any plans this weekend, especially Saturday, hopefully they are indoors, because it sounds like we are going to get a lot of rain tomorrow, right, Joe?
Yeah, not just, a few scattered showers and storms like we say a lot. Good soaking rain coming in. So, yeah, if you, maybe one of those summer days, weekends, you get them once in a while, just kind of stay in or, avoid the rain.
Right.
Like that.
I know I'm going to take advantage of the rain and actually do some chores in my house, because whenever it's sunny and nice out, I feel obligated to be outside and go to the beach. So I will definitely be taking advantage of the rainy weather.
Yeah, it's one of those days, a lot of rain, especially in the afternoon and evening tomorrow, Maya, and there is a flood watch for parts of northern Michigan. We'll take a little look at that and how much rain we expect later in the show.
Yep, we'll check in with you again after our first commercial break, but we will start with our question of the day, which is, would you support the addition of more lifeguards on northern Michigan beaches? As of right now, 72% of people say yes, 28% say no, and if you haven't voted yet, you can scan that QR code on your screen now to let us know what you think about this. Looking at our Facebook post with this question, we have 27 comments right now. I'll just read a few of them, and then I'll get into the story that prompted this question of the day. So here's what a few people are saying. The first comment is from Wayne, and Wayne says, how will this be funded? That is a very big and important question. Miles said, won't happen, because if they're paid, it would almost be impossible to hire enough and keep them. Debbie said, I'm being a bit cynical here, but being a lifeguard isn't as cool as it once was. Then you have to figure in the fact that working is old-fashioned compared to being an influencer. Let's see. Charles says cost, i.e. more in taxes. And yeah, a lot of people are worried about the cost of that. But the reason why this is our question of the day is because one of our reporters at our sister station in Kalamazoo did a story on this recently, and he found that since 2010, an average of 88 people drown in the Great Lakes every year, and about half of those typically happen in Lake Michigan. So I'm going to put up our question of the day again a little bit later, but right now I'm going to play the story from meteorologist Will Haney with our sister station in Kalamazoo. He really dove into what makes our lakeshore so deadly and how you can stay safe.
The lake really demands respect, especially on days where the water's moving.
That for you?
Gianni Laudadio teaches surf lessons and works at Third Coast Surf Shop in St. Joseph.
I've grown up on the lake my whole life, and I've still found myself in situations where I'm like, I have to get myself out of the situation right now.
Some swimmers don't recognize the danger until it's too late.
It's pretty obvious to us when a kid's out there swimming and they're in over their head.
They're with family and friends, and they were just expecting to have, a beautiful day at the beach. In almost an instant, it turns into a tragedy that they live with for the rest of their lives.
Dave Benjamin is the co-founder of the Great Lakes Surf Rescue Project, the nonprofit's mission to prevent drownings through water safety education, outreach, and statistics. A surfer himself, Benjamin survived his own near drowning.
I had a bad wipeout. The leash on my surfboard didn't hold. I inhaled a little bit of water and I got pushed to the bottom. It was winter surfing, so the water temperature was about, 33, 34 degrees. And I just immediately panicked.
Now he's often in close communication with the families of drowning victims.
The number one thing that we will hear is, I didn't know. I didn't know swim lessons were not enough. I didn't know that panic is the first stage of drowning. I didn't know that I could drown even though I know how to swim.
We met up with Benjamin so he could demonstrate strategies for surviving dangerous waves and currents. I suit up with a surfboard leash to my ankle and follow as Benjamin leads me into deeper water. One of the biggest differences between swimming in the Great Lakes versus the ocean is the shorter wave period, the time between crests. See here, just as I go to grab my board, another wave knocks me back. A struggling swimmer often has little time to get their bearings between waves.
If you're ever struggling in water over your head, we want you to flip, float, and follow. So flip over in your back and you float to keep your head above water, to calm yourself down from the panic of drowning, to conserve your energy, and then follow a safe path out of the water. So you have to float first, exit strategy second.
There's three main types of currents we see in West Michigan. First, longshore currents. These flow parallel to the shore. They can pull swimmers down the beach and sometimes into deeper water. Here, you'd want to just swim straight back to the shore. Next, a traditional rip current. Here, a narrow current of water flows straight out. Even an Olympic swimmer can't beat their force. In this scenario, you'd want to swim either parallel to the shore until you're out of it, or follow the current before curling back once you feel its pull letting up. Lastly, structural currents. These happen when wind and waves pile up against a structure or pier. These can lead to especially dangerous waves immediately adjacent the pier, often called the washing machine. A current can also form. You can attempt to grab a ladder if one is available, but crashing waves can make this extremely dangerous. Your other option is to follow the current out somewhat before you feel its pull weakening, then curl back in towards the shore.
Have you ever had to rescue someone, Dave? Yeah, actually last summer. 5 were a rip current. The others were all offshore winds.
Children or adults in inflatables can quickly find themselves blown hundreds of feet from shore, especially if they fall asleep.
The wind's kicking 25 knots the other direction. You can't swim against that.
So if you ever get blown offshore on an inflatable device, always stay with the inflatable. Try to signal for help.
No matter who you are, how skilled of a waterman you are, you always need to respect the water.
Since most of our beaches here in West Michigan don't have lifeguards on duty, Benjamin says it's really important to always designate a water watcher. That's an adult on land with constant eyes on swimmers in the water. And remember, never swim on red flag days. We have more safety tips under this story on our website. Reporting in St. Joseph, I'm meteorologist Will Haney.
Some good safety tips to keep in mind this summer, but we are going to change gears now to some very exciting news happening in Traverse City. So this is drone footage that we took back in May, back when the Grandview Parkway project was still in the middle of construction. But if you happen to drive this stretch to work this morning, you probably had a very lovely commute. That is because phase 1, or the first segment of the project, is done, and that means traffic is back open and the detour is no longer in place. So very exciting news for folks in Traverse City, and East Front Street is actually open a week ahead of schedule. And so that means if you are driving west, again, no longer have to take that detour. I know that this project obviously will be so worth it once it's done, but as someone who does drive through Traverse City a lot, it can be very frustrating taking that detour, especially if you have to do it every single day. So sigh of relief for those Traverse City commuters. And to talk a little more about this project, let's bring in MDOT Media Representative James Lake. James, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure, Maya.
I'm sure you've received a lot of very positive feedback about this announcement of the first segment being done.
Yeah, as you have, we've heard lots of positive comments, a lot of people that are happy, excited that this first segment is done. Not only done, but done a week ahead of schedule. We had said at the beginning of this project that we plan to finish up this first segment prior to the 4th of July, prior to National Cherry Festival, to give the area a break, right? Mm-hmm. And to open things up before the influx of visitors for Cherry Festival in particular. So we're sticking with that schedule. We won't resume work until July 8th, but when we do, we're going to tackle that segment 2 as fast and hard as we can.
So what led to the early completion of the first segment?
Well, we got a little bit of an early start with an early spring. A mild winter made for an early spring, allowed us to do the kind of work that we needed to do. And then Team Elmer's, our prime contractor on the job, they've been fantastic, just working as hard as they can to get this project done. And then the weather has cooperated. While we were trying to finish things up yesterday and get things reopened, we were dealing with some rain, but by and large, the rain held off and let us get our work done.
So then work will pause, like you mentioned, during the 4th of July and National Cherry Festival. Segment 2 will start up on July 8th. What does segment 2 consist of?
Segment 2 starts at the Grandview Parkway, East Front Street intersection on the east end, goes all the way to Division and includes that intersection. Because the parkway is designed differently than Front Street. We're going to be able to maintain traffic without having detours in segment 2. So first, crews are going to be working on those eastbound lanes, the lanes to the south, closer to town, and we'll have one lane of traffic in each direction on those westbound lanes. Around Labor Day, we expect to make that switch, and we'll move traffic to those newly constructed lanes, and then we'll work on the northern half, the westbound lanes. And we hope to have everything wrapped up by middle of November.
So no detours for segment 2.
No detours for drivers. We are going to have some detours for pedestrians, particularly when we're working on that Front Street intersection and Division. When we're working on Front Street, we're going to have a detour that is going to cross the parkway at Barlow and using the Murchie Bridge underpass. And then for Division, crossing the parkway at the Elmwood Hawk signal, and then sending people down Division to the Front Street signalized intersection to cross there.
And I'm assuming all of that information is probably on MDOT's website, and it may even be on our website.
It's on a lot of websites now, but we do have a project page dedicated to this project. And within the next couple of weeks, we're going to be adding more detour maps for those pedestrians for the second segment. We've already got the other maps up for the earlier stages of the project.
And for those who don't know, what exactly does this project consist of?
Well, it is a full reconstruction, and it's done in partnership with the city of Traverse City. We're taking out the old underground utilities, water, wastewater, stormwater, replacing all of those systems, which are very old in some cases, rebuilding the roadway from that base course up, and then having brand new asphalt pavement over the entire 2.2 mile stretch. New curbs, new sidewalks, new crossings. It is a full rebuild.
Do you know when the last time there was a full rebuild of Grandview Parkway?
Not since its original construction, sometime in like the 1970s, if not earlier. Some of this pavement, the underlying concrete pavement, has been in place since the roadway was built. We're going to remove all of that pavement because it's cracked, broken, and we're starting fresh.
So this was much needed.
Absolutely. Anybody who has driven the corridor over the past probably 20 years has recognized that this needs to be rebuilt. But with its nearly $25 million price tag, we kind of had to save up and budget for this project and make sure that we do it right, because it's going to be built to last.
James, is there anything else that you want people to know about the completion of the first segment or the start of the second segment, or just really anything in general about this project?
Sure. I mean, the community's been great. All the businesses that have been affected, the residents who have been affected, we understand that nobody likes construction. But I think now with this first segment done, people can see what that end product is going to look like. They know that it's going to be great when all's said and done.
Absolutely. I know I'm looking forward to it.
We all are.
Yeah. Thanks so much for joining us, James. I really appreciate it. And we are going to take a short break here on UpNorthLive Unscripted. When we come back, we'll check in with meteorologist Joe Charlevoix, so stick around. We'll be back in a few minutes. Welcome back, everyone, and happy weekend to those of you who are done with work for the day. Let's bring in Joe to talk more about the weekend weather forecast. Sounds like tomorrow is going to be the rainy day. Sunday will be a little better.
Yeah. Of the 2 days, Sunday will be a little better. Not as much rain. Still some showers around Sunday too, but tomorrow and tomorrow night, kind of the big days with rain. Yeah. So we get these weekends once in a while.
Yep.
And we do need the rain. I don't know if we need it on a Saturday, right, Maya?
Right. Of course,
take
we
a
had
look,
like the
though.
hottest weather on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday,
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
rain on a Saturday.
That's true. Here's a look around, some spots this afternoon, and it kind of tells the tale. It's just cloudy. That's Mackinac Island at Mission Point Resort, downtown Gaylord, Cadillac, stormy skies. It's not storming, but it looks stormy. And there is Houghton Lake. Currently, we do have a flood watch that's in effect. National Weather Service and Gaylord issuing this for mainly the bridge south to around Grayling, Mayo, Traverse City. This includes Alpena, Antrim County, Charlevoix, all the way up to Sheboygan, the Mackinac Bridge area. This kicks in tonight, late at 2 in the morning, all through Saturday through Sunday morning. Rounds of heavy rain possible, locally higher in spots than that. And we do expect some rises in some of the rivers and streams as that water works its way into the system. And we could see poor drainage areas flooding. It's all because of this front, which lies south of us. That's going to slowly lift north, and we have a lot of moisture in place vertically through the atmosphere for that front to interact with. Here's a look at our radar right now. And yeah, we do have on the north side of this boundary some showers and some thunderstorms. You can see a few of these here. They're just right over Mount Pleasant, essentially. And then some lighter showers up across the UP and the Straits. But as we look at stormcasts and kind of time all of this out, here's what we're expecting tonight. Areas of rain, chance for a couple thunderstorms tonight. And then the big rains, while we may have a little break at times in spots tomorrow morning, there's the widespread rain tomorrow afternoon and evening. Look at that. Through tomorrow night, some thunderstorms, very heavy rain in areas. And then that'll taper off to showery activity during the day on Sunday. So here is our rain forecast. There it is out through tomorrow night. And you see those purple shaded areas and kind of the maroon. Look at that out through early Sunday. I wouldn't take these numbers exact to heart. It kind of gives you an outline of where the heaviest rain may fall. And right now that could be along that M68 corridor there. So Petoskey, Onaway, Indian River over toward Rogers City, Millersburg, Posen, a lot of rain. That's why that flood watch is in effect. There's a slight chance we're in the marginal area for that second category there for a few strong to severe thunderstorms tomorrow too. We'll watch that. I don't think the severe weather threat is that great, however, thankfully. And there's that look ahead. So we have a weather warn day for the flooding potential tomorrow. Sunday, lingering showers, and then everybody gets in on a dry day on Monday. Monday looks nice. Another chance Tuesday for a couple showers and storms. So the end result here, Maya, I'd keep the umbrella close by tomorrow. Maybe get some indoor chores done, like you said you're going to do.
Yes. And then Monday is a day to take advantage of the sunshine.
Yeah, looks pretty nice Monday.
All right, thank you so much, Joe. We'll take another short break here on Up North Live Unscripted. When we come back, we will tell you about a possible expansion project that brought the Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist to Northern Michigan. Stay with us. Welcome back, everybody. A possible expansion at the Grand Traverse Bay YMCA could add 10,000 square feet of space for people to enjoy if the expansion plans move forward. And today, the Lieutenant Governor actually had a chance to go check out the current facility and also talk about the importance in state money when it comes to community development projects. Mark Gillette was there. He talked with the Lieutenant Governor, and here's his story.
We want there to be something for everyone in the community.
And this morning, Lieutenant Governor Gilchrist had the opportunity to see what one of those community development projects could look like and the difference it could make for Northern Michigan families.
People talk about what they want to see in their communities. They want to see, again, more access to affordable housing, amazing places for their kids to go to have fun and be safe, places for adults to be able to come together, to communicate, to find ideas for their next small business opportunities and entrepreneurs. So in those conversations, that's inspired me and Governor Whitmer to want to make the state be an investor and a partner in creating those kinds of resources.
The Whitmer administration has invested $28 million to support more than 60 such community development projects, which in turn has leveraged $80 million in private investment.
This just is a multiplier for community investment to create the kind of places and spaces that people want to be in, people want to live in, people want to grow old in. Like, it's really something that can help us lay a foundation for the future.
Here at the Y, a state investment could allow them to complete phase 2 of the original building plans, adding a 10,000 square foot building with a turf field, as well as new opportunities for summer camps and the ability to house more tournaments in the future. The Whitmer administration says such community development projects are the partnerships needed to move Michigan forward and enable local efforts to become local realities.
There's been several projects that I've been able to be part of, from initial conversation to groundbreaking to ribbon cutting, and to see it come full circle. Why it impacts me is because I just think about the residents who I would have spoken to at the beginning of that process, and the folks who now can go into that space and enjoy it and really absorb it. What it shows is progress.
Again, that was Mark Gillette reporting. And something important to note about this story is the YMCA says they are still in the initial phases of determining just how plausible phase 2 is. But they're very appreciative of all the support from the state. And they say they still need to do more fundraising before moving forward, but are determined to make phase 2 a reality with the support of the community. All right, we're going to take another short break here on UpNorthLive Unscripted, but when we come back, we'll look at our final results for our question of the day. If you're watching online, I'm going to put that question of the day back up on the screen now. So if you haven't voted yet, you can scan the QR code to vote, and we'll check out those results in a few minutes. All right, let's take one last look at our question of the day. Would you support the addition of more lifeguards on northern Michigan beaches? 72% of people say yes, 28% say no. And based on a few comments on our Facebook page, it sounds like the main reason why people are saying no is because they don't know where the funding would come from. I'm sure everyone would love more lifeguards on beaches, but that's a big question, is who's going to pay for it? Is that going to come back to taxpayers to be able to fund that? Well, that is all for Up North Live Unscripted on this Friday evening. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you all have a very wonderful weekend and stay dry out there. It's going to be a wet one tomorrow, but we will see you back here tonight on Up North Live News at 11. And in case we miss you tonight, have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday.